All right, guys, here we go. Another edit from the Prospect ride. Had a bunch of clips left over. Thought I'd do something with it. Not going to talk a whole lot on this one. Just going to kind of let it play out. Just basically had a bunch of extra clips that I didn't know what to do with. And I had so much fun on this ride. Figured I'd throw it in here somewhere.
Give Josh a little room here.
Basically, this is Josh's little loop that he came up with to keep us riding a little bit longer. We got done with Golden Stairs. We're a little tired from that, and but not quite ready to end the day. So we came back down. Josh came up with this quick little loop, so we headed out. Ended up being a lot of fun. Josh leads through part of it here, and I definitely didn't give him enough time to let the dust settle. But I figured I'd just go test my ability to see through this dust a little bit, because that's what we do as off-road racers. We're always in the dust, so it's been a while since I've done that. I just figured I'd hop on in here. It's a pretty wide trail, pretty fast. Always makes me a little nervous. You never know what you're going to come across heading the opposite direction on trails like this. But man, it was fun to rip, that's for sure. I got to put a little asterisk on some of the trails' names and arrows on the maps that I threw in there. Some of those could be wrong. I was trying to remember all the trail names, but I missed several sections. I'm getting a little rusty at this off-road GoPro stuff. And sometimes I had the camera on when I didn't think I had it on, and sometimes I didn't have the camera on when I thought I had it on, so ended up missing some footage. So watching it and trying to piece it all back together with where we were at on the map. So if I'm wrong on exactly where we were, feel free to call me out. But otherwise, I did the best I could. This being Trail 49, which is, like I said, it's kind of a high-speed ripper. I know I said a bunch in the last video, it just felt really good to get back out in the woods. I love being in the woods. I love riding my dirt bike. We're doing a lot of track time with all the off-road racing that really isn't going on this year. Don't get me wrong, there's still off-road racing going on. OMRA is still running a couple of small series. I just haven't jumped into any of that. AMA West is still running, and I just don't like the longer, 3-hour races or whatever. It's really hard for me to do and have fun. So I don't know what's going on with Mag 7. Of course, they canceled the series this year. I didn't read it as they weren't coming back next year, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll be back next year or not. I hope so. They had some of the best games, I think. We'll see. There's some stuff up in Washington that looks really good. There's a lot of stuff down in California that looks really fun too. My plan for this year was Mag 7, and that was my primary series. Fortunately, it didn't come together, so a lot of people are bummed about that. Omari is pretty fun. It has some good stuff as well. Just they piggyback with AMA West for a lot of their series.
That was fun.
And for me, that means in order to do the whole series, I have to run, the 3-hour races, and I just don't really want to do that. So, more power to the people that are fit enough to do that, but it's not just a fitness thing for me. It's just, my joints just can't take it. Anyhow, I'm not going to whine. I'm not going to complain any more than I already have. I love OMRA. I'm glad they're around. But yeah, they had a short series, and they had a separate 4-round series, I think, that was mainly ISD type stuff, so the long races. which I did China Hat last year, and it was a great experience, but I don't know that I feel like I ever need to do that again. I can still remember the pain I went through to do that, so until I forget. Of course, I'm a huge fan of the hour-and-a-half racing series. Go as fast as you can for an hour and a half, and it's still hard, still tiring, still a challenge. Much more doable for me.
I don't think I've ever been on this one.
Yeah, I think this is Trail 22, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
I don't know. Josh had this all planned out in his head. Big thank you to Josh. He always wanted me to lead so I could get some clear footage, so I did lead most of the time. Made for some nice dust-free riding. He'd be the guy who usually give me a minute or so before he hopped in there. That way he could get some mostly clear riding. That being said, even leading, I know my air filter is really hating life right now. Lots of little poles to jump on this one. There were a lot of down trees this year, and I know there are every year. And like I said, I don't think I rode up here last year, so maybe I'm just surprised by that, or maybe I just don't recognize the scenery. But I know they cut a lot of trees too. You can see the fresh cut trees. So big thank you to the guys out doing all the trail work up here. There are still trees down that I'm sure are on the list of things to do. But they're pretty big trees, so the little ones aren't they're no big deal. It's kind of fun to hop over. Let's get back on Trail 2 here. There's a bunch of different sections of Trail 2. I don't know how long it is completely. I don't have my map on me right now, but it's a long trail, and it incorporates some road work, some double track, some single track, and it's just there's a lot of it that's really fun. There's some of it I don't really care for, but I think all this stuff I don't even know if I've ever been on some of this stuff. Unfortunately, there was a really fun section I had my GoPro turned off for, but it was probably some of my best riding of the day. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. I was super fast. I looked like Graham Jarvis, or maybe Ricky Carmichael in the woods. But yeah, no GoPro footage, so it doesn't count. Did get a question or two on the last video. Prospect is open. It is open during the summertime. That is typically when they are open. They're not open during the winter. I think they fully open in, I don't know, early July maybe. Part of it opens in early June, mid-June. The rest of it opens in July sometime. I don't know the exact dates, but it's all on the website. Just go to Prospect OHV or Prospect Ranger Station, whatever. It's all out there. Yes, it is open. I know it's fire season in most of the valley, but I think because of the canopy up here and the trails are all built to a certain size, to my knowledge, everyth's open for OHV stuff. I'm not an expert on it, so of course, do your own research. But yeah, there's lots of people riding the Prospect right now, so if you're not because you think it's fire season, you're missing out. Now, that being said, they will close, especially if they have a fire up in the area, but they are currently, as of today, open. An easy reference for that is the Prospect OHV Facebook page. That's usually the one I check. And it's typically kept pretty up to date, but if there's any questions, just call the ranger. It's right up there. Especially if you can do it during the week, that's the best way to do it. Always double check. More trail 2. Anyhow, I said I wasn't going to talk a whole lot on this one, and I've already talked through most of it. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and until the next one, I'm out.